ladies and gents, welcome back to math. Today, you and I are going to be practicing saying a number in different ways. Let's go watch our visual learning video to get warmed up.
You can show 123 in different ways. Here is one way. 123 equals 100 plus 20 plus 3. Which digit in the number shows how many hundreds there are?
Select your answer.
The hundreds place is the third number, so that would be the 1 in the hundreds place of 123.
The hundreds digit, which is the 1 in the hundreds place. Does that mean that every time you make a model of 123, there will always be 1 hundreds flat?
Let's try it out. Okay, so it says model 123 without using a hundreds flat. So how many 10 rods do I need and how many ones cubes? So I'm going to do tens until I get up to a point where I can't add any more tens. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. If I add another 10, then I'm going to be at 130. So now I need to add some ones. 121, 122, and 123. So I need 12 tens and 3 ones.
No, you could use 10 tens rods instead of 1 hundreds flat to show 100.
You can break apart the 100 to make 10 tens.
Is the second model still a model of 123?
Yes.
It is, because 10 tens have the same value as 100. 123 equals 120 plus 3. You can also break apart a 10 to make 10 ones. 123 equals 100 plus 10 plus 13. How is this model different from the first model?
It's different from the first model because in this model we have 1 10 and 13 ones instead of 2 tens and 3 ones.
1 tens rod was exchanged for 10 ones cubes. Where does the 13 in the equation come from?
The 13 comes from the extra 10 from the 10 rod that we don't have and the 3 ones.
It comes from the 13 ones. Does the model still show 123? Yes. Now you know some different ways to show 123.
Okay, let's jump in our workbooks to do some practice. We're going to be starting on page 536 in our workbook, so make sure on that page, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, it says use place value blocks to count the hundreds, tens, and ones. Show 2 other ways to make the number. So first, we're going to count up what is in our place value chart here first, and then we're going to find out 2 other ways that we could say the same number. So let's see, how many hundreds do we have? We have 1 100 flat, so that's 100. And then how many tens do we have? 3 tens, which is the same as 30. And then how many ones do we have? 2. So it is showing 132, which is the same as 100 plus 30 plus 2. Now we need to come up with 2 other ways we could say the same number. Let's start by thinking what would happen if we took away the 100 flat. So how many tens would we need to replace the 100 flat? We would need 10 tens to replace the 100 flat. So instead of having 3 tens, we would need 13 tens. And 13 tens is the same as 130. So we could say 130. Notice I don't have any of my hundreds anymore. plus our 2 ones still. That would be another way that we could show this number. A third way that we could show it is by keeping our hundreds. So we're going to say 100. But then we're going to change up our tens. So if I take one of my 10 rods and move it into 10 ones, I wouldn't have 3 tens anymore. Now I would have 2 tens, which is 20. And now that I moved that 10 into 10 ones, I wouldn't have 2 ones anymore. I would have 2 ones plus 10 more, which is 12. So all 3 of these ways are the same number. 132 equals 100 plus 30 plus 2, or 130 plus 2, or 100 plus 20 plus 12. They're all the same number. Let's go ahead and watch one more quick video.
The number 143. Oh, there it is. Using place value blocks, you can show this number in different ways. Here's one way. We have 100 flat, 4 tens rods, and 3 ones cubes. Look at that. Here's another. I broke apart the 100 flat to make 10 tens. Now I have 14 tens rods and 3 ones cubes. And that's not all. Just in case you thought that was it, here's one more for you. I can break apart a tens rod to make 10 ones cubes. What do I have now? 100 flat, 3 tens rods, and 13 ones cubes. By breaking apart place value blocks, I can show the same number in different ways. Can you think of another way you can show 143?
Okay, let's jump in our workbooks and do some more practice. Let's go ahead and turn the page. Let's do number 2 together. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take this number that's being shown with our place value blocks and we're going to write it in 3 different ways. So the first way, I like to start off by showing all 3 numbers. So if I have 4 hundreds flats, that would be 400. Plus 110 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ones. So 418 is the same as 400 plus 10 plus 8. Now I'm going to think of another way I could do it. Let's say I took one of my hundreds flats and turned it into 10 tens. So now I wouldn't have 400 flats, I would have 300 flats, which would be 300, plus 110 plus the other 10 tens, and 1 plus 10 is 11, so I would have 11 tens, which is the same as 110 plus my ones, which would still be 8. So 418 is the same as 300 plus 110 plus 8. And then I can think of one more way, and there's lots of ways for this one. But I'm going to say I have my 400s flats, and then I'm going to take my 110, and I'm going to move it to my ones. So I'm going to turn that 10 rod into 10 ones. So I don't have any tens. Now instead I have 8 ones plus 10 more, which is 18. So another way to show 418 would be 400 plus 18. I want you to do number 3 all by yourself. Come up with 3 different ways to write the number, and then we'll check it together. Okay, let me scoot down here. Okay, so we have 163. I'm going to write it out first like this. 100 flat is 100 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens, which is 60, plus 3 ones. So 100 is the same as 100 plus 60 plus 3. Now another way I could show it is to get rid of my hundreds flat and make it into 10 tens. So I wouldn't have any hundreds flats. Instead I would have 6 tens plus 10 more, which is 16 tens, or 160 plus my 3 ones. That's another way to show it. And then another way I could show it is to keep my 100 flat and to take one of my tens and turn it into 10 ones. So I don't have 6 tens anymore. Now I would have 5 tens, which is 50, plus not 3 ones, but 3 ones plus 10 ones. And that would be 13. So that'd be another way to show it. Now this just takes some practice, you guys, to keep practicing and practicing to get down this skill, so keep it up. Let's go down to the bottom of the page. We're going to do number 5 together. It says write the missing number. So we have to think 698 is the same as or equals 500 plus what plus 8. So let's think. If I add up 508, that would be 508, but I still have a lot more to go to get to 698. So I know that I'm going to need at least 100 because I'm only at 500 right now. So I could say it's 100. I'm just going to draw a 1 here for my 100 place. So 100 plus 500 is 600 plus 8. So right now I'm at 608 and I need to get to 698. How many tens would that be? Well, if I count by tens, I'd go 618, 628, 638, 648, 658, 668, 678, 688, 698. I would need 9 tens. So I'm going to say 500 plus 190, because that's 9 tens, plus 8. That would equal 698. I want you to try number 6, see if you can figure out how much is missing and find that number, and then we'll check it. Okay, you ready? So it's 939 equals 900 plus 20 plus something. So 900 plus 20 gets us up to 920, which is pretty close to our number. So let's see. If I'm at 920, I can add a 10, so 10, and then that would get me to 930. Can I add another 10? No, that'd be 940, and that's too much. But we're going to 939, which is only 1 less than 10. So 920 plus 10 would be 930, plus 9 more would get us to 939, right? And 10 plus 9 is 19. So we would have to add 19 more. Let's turn the page. Let's do number 7. Carl made this model to show a number. What number is shown? So let's read this first. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 100 flats. So we could say 4 in the hundreds place. And then let's count the tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 tens or 70. So I'm going to put the 7 in the tens place. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. So the number is 475. And our problem says draw models to show another way Carl could make this number. So I'm going to make it pretty easy on myself. I'm going to take one of my hundreds flats and turn it into tens. So I wouldn't have 4 hundreds flats, I would have 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to draw my 7 tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I need to draw 10 more because I took a 100 flat and turned it into 10 tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I still need my 5 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ta-da! Done. So that'd be 300 plus 170 plus 5 equals 475. Let's read number 8 and then you're going to solve it. Neha wants to make the same number in different ways. She says 300 plus 130 plus 9 equals the same number as 500 plus 30 plus 9. Do you agree with Neha? Explain. See if you can find out how much each number is, each equation equals, and see if they're the same. And explain why her thinking is correct or incorrect, and then come back to me when you think you've got it, and we'll check. Okay, so let's see. 300 plus 130 plus 9. Well, 300 plus 100 would be 400, plus 30 would be 430, plus 9 would be 439. So I know that, so I'm going to say 300 plus 130 plus 9 equals 439. And then I'm going to add up the other one. 500 plus 30 would be 530, plus 9 would be 539. So did she get the same answer for both equations? She got 439 and 539. So let's explain why we agree or disagree with Neha. I'm just going to say no. They are different numbers. Nice and easy. Great job, friends. Let's look at your homework. Okay, you're going to go back in the workbook and do numbers 4, 9, and 10 for some more practice, and then go do your quick check. After that, either go on MathFacts Pro, or if you're in my class, today is an iReady day. I will see you guys back here again tomorrow. Bye, friends.